Hello everyone and welcome back to Stoneblock 4. Today, as you see, we are doing fluid cows. Now, I went ahead and made a bunch of cows over here through the breeder. I have an animal breeding station right here in the middle. Now, unfortunately, these guys cap out eventually when there's too many mobs around, for a good reason. As you can see, there's hundreds of cows here. But what this does allow us to do is make fluid cows by giving them clapples. However, getting said fluid cows out of the pen is a lot harder than it should be. So what I've been doing is I trapped a fluid cow in a mob imprisonment tool here. I'm pumping it XP fluid from our levels, and well, we're spawning fluid cows like this. Now the benefit of doing this is fluid cows aren't registered as direct IDs. They don't have their own spawn eggs, each one of them. They are a config that will randomly generate based off the spawn egg. So the same works with the mob imprisonment tool. Now I went ahead and made an occult ender lead by using infusion enchanting. This was 60% arcana, but no more than 85, at least 85% quanta, and 75% eterna. This doesn't work. If I take one of these and apply them to a spawner, it simply doesn't work. I can't apply the cow to said spawner, which makes sense because the fluid cow spawn egg itself also can't be used on a spawner. So that unfortunately doesn't work. However, what does work is the mob duplication. So we are getting a bunch of cows from this, such as the chaos cow. Where is he? I have 3 of them now, and we're going to keep all of them because I do love me some chaos dragon skips if possible. I think they're in here somewhere. They're very dark. Oh, there we go. So yes, we have a molten chaos cow, and with molten chaos, we can make tiny chaos fragments, which then turn into everything we need. So this will allow us to make black holes, which I've never seen before. It'll allow us to make the awakened draconium chicken, all the cool stuff from Draconic Evolution. So a bunch of fantastic things. But yeah, we have 3 of these buddies. But yeah, all we're doing is running and making some cows. Every so often one will spawn. I'll see if I have it. If I do, I kill it. I wait for the next one, and then so on and so forth. So I'll be back once we're ready with all of our unique cows, and then we can start farming them. Alright, 9 million cows slaughtered later, an inventory full of raw beef and leather. What I will do is I will start segmenting these cows, and hopefully this is all of them. I'm not entirely sure, but that was about 20 minutes of cow killing, so hopefully we have all the cows we're looking for, but potentially we have some missing, but we will get to those later. Now what we will do is we will set up the cow squisher. We have all of these ones as far as I can tell. Now I don't know what a lot of these will provide us with. Lava and water just gives you a milk cow. That's funny. But yes, we have all of the fluid cow breeding ones. So if we make a little quick setup here, we'll put a fluid cow jar in the ground, take our fluid cow, and then drop an anvil on its skull to then trap it inside of a fluid cow jar. Now these will slowly generate their liquid over time, and this is how we are going to set them all up. Now these generate at a slow enough rate, like it's not crazy. It goes jar, cow, anvil, and then the cycle continues. Oh, these poor cows. Now, I will say a lot of these cows probably aren't ever going to be needed. Like, a lot of them are either fuels, like biodiesel and stuff, and I don't see us ever using biodiesel for fuel considering we already have power. However, some of them are kind of cool, like this one here, Strange Matter. Strange Matter is used to make infinity singularities as well as the neutron collector. It also allows us to make unholy intelligence, which will be used for nothing that we're going to be doing. Oh, it might. You know what? I won't say we are not going to use one, because we might need Promethium. Yes, we do. Okay, perfect. So we need Promethium for Resonant Void, which I remember is a world engine upgrade. So I'm glad we have this, because yes, we will need the Heisenberg computer for Resonant Void, and we can make that with Unholy Intelligence rather than the Super AI chip, which we can use to make with Strange Matter. So yes, there are some fantastic things we will get from these cows, but this will take probably about 30-40 minutes, so I'll be back when it's all done. And we are back with our floor of fluid cows. Now the reason we have them placed down like this is so that we can see if any of them stack, because when you break a fluid cow jar, or sorry, when you make the fluid cow, it will start generating immediately, which means you will have uneven numbers depending on how quickly you broke the fluid jar, which means if I have duplicates, they won't stack unless the amounts are the exact same. So what I went ahead and did was place them all down, went AFK for a bit, and let them all fill up. I should be able to go ahead and just break all of this. And yeah, as you see, they will start stacking if we have duplicates. And we do have a few duplicates. Now, some duplicates are intended, like the chaos one, but in most cases, yes, we don't need this many of the exact same duplicates, so I'm glad I did check. However, as you see, we have 54 fluid cows. Now, once again, I don't know if this is the exact number of fluid cows available in this pack. I might be missing a few, and we will account for that when designing our area for these guys. And we will have a setup very similar to our chickens here. Oh, and we were making some manipulation essence. This was just so we could craft some calcite because I couldn't find calcite generating anywhere normally in the world. And that was to make those bookshelves over there. So we went ahead and did that. That's 55 actually. I had 2 sledge in my inventory, so it's actually 55 cows. So we can do 11 or 5 high, 11 wide with our cows for now. However, that does mean we need some fluid drawers to account for them. Now, to think of like modules for these guys, I said we're going to go 5 high, and I think we can get away with that pretty nicely in here. Just like our chickens are 5, we're going to do 5 for fluid cows as well, which means something like this. Now, I want it to look nice from the behind, but I think if we just go like this all the way up, it doesn't look terrible. I'm not entirely a fan of how they kind of just float like this, but I think it'll be fine, to be honest. I think something like this will look good enough. However, I am realizing I'm not sure why I'm using regular drawers. Now, a lot of these cows are going to be absolutely useless, since I'm not even sure what half of them provide us with. But that is the setup we're going with. It looks alright. I'm not opposed to it. Now, with a bunch of puller upgrades set to up painstakingly manually, we can go ahead and upgrade all of our drawers to automatically pull. Now, we're throwing 4 diamond upgrades on each one of these. I doubt in our entire playtime will we ever come to nearly even a quarter fill these, considering how slow these fill up. I don't think we will ever produce enough of a single fluid to even come close to filling these guys. And if we do, congratulations to me, I spent way too long playing Stoneblock 4. And with all of them now upgraded, what we will do is select multiple, come over here, and select all of our drawers and add them to our network. Now, I'm not sure what we're going to do with all of these fluids yet. Some of them obviously will have to pipe out into like a casting basin, for example. And if we just look into our system here at fluids, experience, and chemicals only, you will see the wall of random things now we have propagating our system. A lot of them pretty useless. Fermented ore meat we're never going to use. However, there's some really cool ones. Obviously, there's the Molten Chaos like we were talking about earlier. Molten Adamite's actually kind of cool to use, however, I don't seem to have a use. Oh, potentially not usable. Okay, interesting. Turbo Fuel is a fuel source for the fuel generator. I'm not sure how good it is. It doesn't really tell me its production rate there, but it does seem pretty good. Light naphtha, for example, will allow us to make silicon wash, or we can burn it. But we also have said silicon wash somewhere in here. Yes, here it is. This allows us to make silicon gems, which we already have plenty of as well, so don't need that either. But there's a lot of fun things as well, right? Like Shoalfire. Oh, I didn't mean to take a bucket out. With Shoalfire, we can make the Chronon Resonator, which we will need apparently at some point. However, the cooler thing we could do with Shoalfire is set up a duplicator for our clusters to get 3 copper clumps, or any clump for that matter. And then we could take those clumps and throw them inside of a mirrored crusher to get 12 in return, or 6 of each, sorry. So we could 18x our ores. We will never have to worry about that, never going to do it, but it is on the table if we wanted to at any point. And some other cool ones, biosteel, can make blocks of biosteel. This is useful for ore tech stuff as well. Strange matter allows neutron collectors in infinity singularities. This is really cool. The way you get strange matter is just lava over top of a near compound, so it's really easy to get strange matter, but it is nice to have it this way. Now, there's some things like phenolic resin I don't think we're ever going to use. We don't need fiber boards, and we're never going to make grinding desks or empty shells for that matter. So obviously there's a lot of useless things, but there's a lot of cool things too. So we'll see how we end up using all of these fuels, but we do have them all set up now, and none of them will ever be a concern. Herbicide. Why? And now with fluid cows finally done, after it took way too many episodes to get them, I want to start chapter 4, and that is the Oblivion. So it wants us to go talk to our friend, the Echo of Guidance, and we'll see what he has to say to us. Your world engine can now support tier 4 upgrades. The WERK will now reboot 3 additional archives. The Echo of the Wyrmwright will lead you into a realm of Draconic and the Void. The Echo of Twilight and the Echo of Ancient will guide you through several vaults across distant dimensions. Fun. Okay. So he doesn't unlock... Oh no, he unlocks a few things in his shop. Some combat relics, random Project E gear. That's fun. However, the big things are the unlocking of the Void Chasm Rain Ender Shards and the Twilight Rain Ender Shards. This is how you will teleport out into the biomes like we saw earlier when we went to the end. I didn't realize these were purchasable. It makes sense. Or sorry, I didn't know what they did. I knew they were purchasable, but yes, these are very useful. Fortunately, we can just speed mine at like 9 million blocks per second, so I'm not too concerned about getting these. I'm not sure what the difference between these random comet relics are and random project gear. You know what? We're gonna buy one. I just want to see what it can give potentially. Can it give a wand? Okay, I wanted to see if it could give a Watch of Flowing Time. It unfortunately can't, but it can give gem armor. We got Ring of Arcana. So our Creative Flight Rain is useless because this is exactly what the Ring of Arcana is used for. It gives you Creative Flight. So that's kind of cool, but we already have Creative Flight, so we'll keep this one for now. But yeah, some cool things you can buy. I want to see what the random combat relic is. Why not? Can we get anything cool? Potentially. Cicada in a bottle. What do you do? Interesting. Okay, so we can apply Cicada's Curse to a mob. Not very useful as we one-shot everything, but cool nevertheless. And it has now given us access to 3 new echoes. I think we will save the Twilight for one episode because that'll be a few vaults, it seems. Yeah, it does seem like the Twilight's a few vaults. Draconic Evolution will be fun, but I want to meet the Ancient because I remember needing Euphonium for a specific craft I wanted to do. So I will just set all the waypoints, but I want to locate the Ancient first. So it seems the Twilight and Ancient are in the same room potentially. Not entirely sure, or the waypoints are just messed up. Oh no, they're both in the same room. Okay. So we are going to leave one of them to their own accord, and we will talk to the Ancient, who I'm going to guess is you.
Welcome, mortal, to your resting place. Not within this archive, precisely, but likely within the vault you must conquer if you wish to obtain the ancient upgrade for your world engine. Pay no heed to my sibling, Twilight. Pride has been held on to a little too tightly, even as an echo of the WERK. Still, I cannot deny I share some of their doubts about your ability to restore the world engine. No matter. As you likely have realized, despite the fragments of who we once were, we remain bound by our programming. We act as the WERK commands, regardless of our feelings or fears. Your upgrade lies within a vault so ancient that moving it between realms would cause it to collapse. The only path through it is through a portal within the ancient deep. Perhaps the Infernal or the Enchanter have already spoken of this place, each in their own way. Whatever they called it, you must be ready to fight for your survival. Defeat the horrors within, and you will uncover an alloy known as Cursium. With precision and care, it can be molded into Euphonium, essential for advancing your world engine.
Alright, so we have to craft the Euphonium blocks, which we were after anyways. This guy allows us to improve our relics, which is kind of unique. We've improved most of them just by having them in our inventory, so I'm not too concerned about that. He also sells us a Pinnacle Gateway, which we already have. Now, the Watch of Flowing Time I do want. I don't think we really need it at this point in the pack, but we have so many coins, there's no reason not to buy one. But for now, we will head back to our base and make a Deep Dark Catalyst. But we also need ourselves a Soul Cage, which can be crafted 2 different ways, actually. So whether that's using a Silk Touch Monster Spawner or a Broken Spawner, and then with either energy, no, both of them consume energy, just this one consumes way more. This one just consumes more source. Okay, well, we'll go with that. So if we head up to our world engine, I should have enough source left over in here. 19,000. Okay, yes, we have enough. So we'll go ahead and craft both of these. Speed this guy up a bit, and there we go. That is both of them completed. Now, found within Lower Deep Slate, the ancient city holds a giant portal that can finally be activated, allowing you to defeat the boss within. Interesting, you can activate the portal. Upon entering the portal, you will receive a blindness effect that can only be cured by filling your soul cage with mob souls dropped from killing strengthened enemies inside the vault. You must hold the soul cage in your offhand to charge it, okay? Once you have filled your soul cage, you may start the boss fight by taking the elevator to the starting room. Killing mobs with the Reaper enchant will fill your cage quicker. Okay, that's fine. Well, we don't have the Reaper enchant, but we will one-shot everything in the thing anyways, so I'm not too concerned. However, this does mean heading back to a Deep Dark, which we should have right over here by the Nether we went to earlier. Also, now that we're done with these cows, let me just do a bit of tidying up. Let me just tidy up real fast. Also, why did I don't know why my night vision turned off there, but yes, that should be fine. We will make our way over to the vault, or I guess the Deep Dark, and that will allow us to get to the vault. So I guess we use the Deep Dark Catalyst on this portal here. Starting dungeon generation. Okay, what does this look like? Okay, just a portal. Cool. Well, I say just a portal, but that's sick. Okay, and what we do is just kill everything around us. You know what? I'm realizing I didn't bring... Oh, your mob lantern has been granted light. 0 of 40 souls. I went back and got some lockpicks really fast, just because I don't know if there will be any locked chests in here specifically. This is just an interesting setup. I don't even know what we're supposed to do. I assume I'm supposed to pull it away. Oh, no. Okay, it just drops lava on our skulls no matter what we do. I mean, that's cool. Doesn't really affect us at all. But we will continue to explore this dungeon. That gave us good news. Okay. If you find another portal, then you are very lucky. Be sure to take the rare key that is inside its keyhole. Okay. So our mob lantern is on granting us light. And we are now on the hunt for another portal, it seems. I assume we can just pick up all the lava inside of these. Obviously, I don't think flight is, like, supposed to be used. These also have magma cube spawn eggs inside of them, which I find is kind of cool. Oh, here's the portal? No, local teleporter. Is that glitching us somewhere, potentially? I don't know. Is this just the void? Okay, this is just the void with a bunch of bedrock underneath it. Cool and unique. If we didn't have flight, that would be bad. I'm very confused. This is just glass. Maybe we have to place it? Okay, there's a poison arrow. Oh, it's a trapped chest with glass randomly in it. Okay, cool. Oh, you're supposed to parkour over. I see. Random stray. Igloo magic door complete. Okay, random sweeping edge book. Are we moving too fast for the local teleporter to work? Because it's trying to get us to go somewhere, but it's also not letting us get there, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's very weird. Okay, we're just back to this local teleporter now. I'm just gonna blow up the TNT. Oh, there's a chest in there. Wait, it didn't break the block. Wait, excuse me? Was that not supposed to break this cracked deep slate so I can get the chest? Oh, I'm very confused, man. This is a weird vault. Oh, more good news. Okay. What's the more good news here? Using a blank map inside of a dungeon will reveal the map of that dungeon. That's nice. I have a map, but I guess we could get more maps? There's also a warp drive artifact that I just got. This allows me to teleport around. Let's throw it on our curios and see what it does. Oh, we're not allowed to teleport in here. I can use spurt, but I can't use translocate. Line of sight to a oh, wait, no. Wait, what? I'm so confused. What is a teleport location compared to not a teleport location? I guess walls are teleport locations? I mean, that's cool. By the way, just by holding down Alt, you can get access to all your curios, or your relics specifically. So I can turn on and turn off my night vision this way. I can also repulse items or turn off my magnet. It's just really useful to have. But I guess we could use this to get into this room over here, which we technically shouldn't be doing, but why not? It's not like we're not cheating normally. Oh, nice. Curse of Vanishing with Blast Protection leggings. What? I'm so confused. How are you supposed to get into that room normally? This vault confuses me. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, I can't go inside this, even with my armor taken off. I just can't go inside that vault. So bizarre. Hey, we just killed something that gave us steadfast spikes. That's cool, I guess. I'm just gonna go to the room where the mobs are spawning. Surely that's something useful, right? Oh, we got a puzzle hint. Okay, we've made it a bit further down. In the igloo room, try enchanting your boots with enchantment that fits the theme. Okay, well, we can't enchant our boots, so I can't get glacial walking or whatever it is. But I guess we'll have to get some boots that have Ice Walker on them, or Frost Walker, whatever it's called. There's a switch in that one, which I assume it wants me to pull so I can keep that door open at all times. But I have to assume that also triggered something else. This one in here, which opened that door, which opened this room. Okay, cool. No, this room was already open. We went backwards. Okay, no, that had to have opened something. I have to assume everything inside this vault is completable without leaving the vault. But then again, I'm not sure. Oh, wait, there's another side over here. This is what we missed. Oh, hello, Mr. Drowned. You poor fella. No, we've already gone this way. All right, now I'm just stumped. Okay, so I need to be able to grab this lever or this lever specifically. Do either of those doors open with that lever flicked? No. So with that lever flicked, what changed? These doors just let me back in. Okay, so we need to be able to open these two levers, I have to assume. I don't know what's going on in there, but they want us to flick those levers. Also, there's a room over here. Oh, okay, we can make a map now. Cool. Can I access a crafting table? I don't think so, but I can use this to craft. So we'll make a map. And yeah, that just gives us a map that we already had, so that's pretty useless. But what is interesting, I will say, is the fact that this room is, like, not mappable, which is bizarre. These chests are useless. And yeah, this doesn't take us anywhere. So if I were to enchant my boots with Frostwalker, like, what's to say I can't just swim across this, right? You know what I mean? Like, is that what it wants me to enchant with Frostwalker for? This gives me respiration. Maybe you can't fly normally in here? No, you can swim. I'm very confused. Did I do something wrong in here? I think I've solved the puzzle. I don't know. I'm just gonna head back to the beginning and take the elevator down. I feel like I'm going crazy trying to figure this thing out. Okay, so as far as I can tell, there is no need for us to do anything but just take this elevator down. Or up, I guess. There we go. Yeah. So, I don't know exactly what we were supposed to do, but if we right-click the cursed tombstone here, so you're normally supposed to be able to just right-click the cursed tombstone and Maladictus should spawn, because that's what this is. This is Maladictus from the Cataclysm mod. Oh, there we go. We had the soul cage in our offhand. So there is Maladictus, 903 HP. He's trying his best to do damage to us. He's going to fly us up in the air, smash us down on the ground. He actually does do a decent amount of damage. But yeah, he's no match for Thanos. Which I will say, the Katara kind of works. I wish I might want to change the model to a glove so we can just pretend we snap it. And yeah, we snap everything out of existence like Maladictus just now. But what we did get was Cursium, assumedly. However, is 3 enough to make the Euphonium? You only need 1. Okay, perfect. Now, we didn't take a Maladictus prediction, so we can actually just come back and respawn him if we wanted to, and kill him over and over, just by shift right-clicking the tombstone. The power is still weak. Okay, so once the power is no longer weak, you just respawn him like so. But yeah, we have some Cursium. Also got some blue hearts from that, pretty nice. But yeah, I guess we'll just head home. Like nothing ever happened. And pretend that vault wasn't as weird as I thought it was. Like, all you had to do was just take the elevator and kill him. The blindness doesn't really matter. But I wanted to explore the vault anyways, for what it's worth. But yes, now we have the Euphonium upgrade. Or we can make Euphonium, which is pretty simple to make. It's some Vibrant Alloy, some Skulk, and Liquid Darkness, as well as some Fortron. There's actually quite a few things in here we don't have. So Coercion, or Fortron's really easy to get, actually, and I don't know why I haven't set this up previously. And we could do the same thing we're doing with our chickens, and just set up an infinite setup for this guy, and may as well set him up right beside this, actually. There's no reason we shouldn't. So what I'll do is just do 3 pillar upgrades, that, set this to no redstone, and yeah, now we just have Fortron constantly being made. So we need to make ourselves 2 vats. Well, technically we only need the 1, but there's no reason not to make 2. So we'll smack down our alloy smelter really fast, make some energetic alloy, turn that with ender pearls to make vibrant, speed it up again, make some of that, some of you, and anything else? Iron gears, those we can craft ourselves. So, 2 vats. So to make liquid sunshine, we need both glowstone in the first slot, and then either a sunflower or torch flower in the second slot. Now, torch flowers you can get from sniffers, or you can go ahead and buy a torch flower seed from the Echo of Quartermaster, which we will do, because I do not have time to wait for a sniffer to spawn. So that is why torch flowers are sold at spawn, if you were ever wondering. It is simply to make the liquid sunshine, I have to assume. I don't honestly think there's another reason, but there could be. That turned into another flower. Excuse me? We can duplicate these, so I'm going to duplicate it because, yeah, that turned into another flower for some reason. Okay, this one turned into a pitcher plant. That one also turned into a pitcher plant. This one turned into a lily of the valley. Okay, am I crazy thinking torch flowers should turn into torch flowers? Maybe it can only work on actual soil, and using a Celestial Gem hoe messes with that? I'm just guessing at this point. Nope. I guess this is what torch flowers just do. So, what we will do, I guess, is make a garden close really fast, which is annoying. What do we need? Glass, paper, copper. So I guess I will just give this thing a bit of power, and hopefully this turns into torch flowers? I don't know if it will. There we go. Okay, it turned into torch flowers. Weird how that works. I've never used torch flowers before, since they came out with the sniffer, and I've never used the sniffer either. But this is making us liquid sunshine, which will start transferring into this tank here. Just simple IO config to push it out. Then, what we need is our crushing factory back down. Crush up some obsidian dust really fast. And if we combine that with amethyst and obsidian dust, this will combine to make liquid darkness, if we sped it up just ever so slightly. And that we can extract with a bucket and put into our world engine. Now, I'm pretty sure we only needed the 1 bucket. We need 10 buckets. Okay, so a lot more torch flowers and glowstone later. We should be fine. And now we have, well, way too many buckets of liquid darkness. More than we will ever need. But it's nice to have it. So we will take that upstairs to the world engine once need be. A bit more of a process than I thought it would be, considering. But now we also need vibrant alloy. Okay, we already have everything. This is like giga scuffed. But yeah, I'm just putting the exporter down so we can fill a Fortron into a tank really fast. Take that up to the world engine as well. Drop off our way too much dragon breath that we collected as usual. And is there anything else we need? We need some more source, and I think we've run out up top. And I guess we'll head over to the farm to collect some source shards, and I haven't shown this off in a while. However, this is both a source farm, as you see, it instantly fills up, but also our seed farm. And that is why we have 98 million seeds in the system. As you see, it farms seeds insanely fast. And that is because each one of these is enchanted with a random hoe that has Nature's Blessing. They're all Celestia Gem hoes so that they stay permanently filled with energy, and they never break, by the way. So yeah, these all just randomly have a random Nature's Blessing enchant. This took way longer than I'd like to admit to get them all done. And then these are just universal cables pumped from a Tesseract, all hidden behind facades. And then these growth accelerators also allow the source to be grown, right? So these growth accelerators are natural growth alongside the Celestia Gems. And yeah, 98 million seeds later, it's a pretty efficient system to say the least. I have all the sounds muted around this area because, wow, that is a loud machine otherwise. But what I will do is head up to the world engine, fill it up with source, and I do need a source generator up here to be fair, but I think it's fine that we have it this way. We could link them, we could do relays all the way down. Once again, also fine. Set this back to energy and craft up our things. But we also need to set the fluids in here. So I just gotta make sure I do them in the right order. Fortron on this side and you on here. And what we'll do is we'll come to the config for you and we will say none. We don't want to do anything from those sides. Same with this guy. We don't want to do anything from those sides. And we'll do auto input and auto input. And that'll automatically pull both in our liquid darkness and our Fortron. 10,000 buckets of each. And if we throw the last thing in there, which is the Cursium. So we need 2 Cursium ingots. It'll craft and then pull stuff in immediately. We can probably keep Fortron in there, but for now, what we'll do is just disable the input again. And we'll we'll change this output and auto output. So we can actually get rid of it without having to dump it. And now that we have the Euphonium, we have to go back and speak with our friend the Ancient, as usual, and see what he has to say.
That is all I can offer you for now. Seek the other echoes. They too hold fragments of the path ahead.
Alright, so as usual, it's just a wrap-up sentence with these guys, but we will head home, and I guess we can auto-upgrade our world engine here. Once again, broken world engine, but the Euphonium blocks are being placed on the bottom ring around the create casings, which, by the way, I will mention, we clearly have never made trains to explore the outer depths of the system, and for a very good reason. It would take way too long considering our hammer here can do the work for us, but it is a cool idea, and we might do it at the very end of the series, but realistically I won't be making create trains to explore the depths of the rings because, well, our hammer and our speed can do it in no time. But now we have the Euphonium upgrades, and biggest one is a gift of stone, so we will take that and an eternal stake. Okay, well, it wasn't too useful, I will say. We'll throw it in our backpack with everything else. I wonder if that will allow us to have 2 eternal stakes at once. We'll take our tanks back and head back with our head held down in shame. Now, I don't know what I'm ever going to do with these again, so we'll just pick them up and throw them in our system. Probably won't ever need it, to be fair. Same with torch flowers. I don't think we'll ever have a use for these. I guess we could make soul flowers. Not sure what they're used for, but cool. When we first opened Tier 4, I said I was going to save the Twilight chapter for its own episode, and that is because there is a decent amount of vaults in there. However, I didn't want to jump into Draconic Evolution quite yet, but I think we should go meet the Wyrmwright and see what he has to offer us, and then we'll decide what we're going to do. And Draconium is exactly what he has to offer us. Oh, hello, Mr. Wyrmwright. How may we please you today?
Well, what do we have here? I gotta say, seeing a human reach such heights of knowledge wasn't something I expected, but I'll take the surprise. If memory serves, the last thing I was doing before all this was looking for my brother. You haven't seen him around, have you? People tend to think dragons are nothing but wild, fire-breathing beasts with wings the size of continents. But I'm half dragon and I turned out pretty normal, right? Anyway, you're here for that upgrade, so let's get to work. I can provide 2 upgrades for your world engine. The first will need some key materials to craft the foundation of draconic technology, an energy core with 4 stabilizers and 4 crystal matrix blocks. The matrix design is in Dragon Tech, of course. My brother borrowed it from another Echo he worked closely with.
Alright, so there are some new Echoes we still have yet to meet, which is very cool. This guy sells us, well, some draconic stuff as well as a dragon head, so if we were to have lost ours. Also, he sells us the ultimate tier installers, which is fantastic. However, we can craft these now, so that's fine. The add-on tier 9s is probably what we would buy from him if we are doing any ore tech, just to save us some time. But yeah, I guess we'll head back to the base and see what we have to craft. That's spawn. That's our house. So he wants us to make crystal matrix ingots, which I have to assume will be used for a few different things, so I'm going to make a recipe for it. I'm also going to make recipes for the Wyvern controller cores and all of the likes, because these will be used for a lot of things as well. And I guess we could just make these now. Save us some time. 10 of those, 10 of you, 10 of these, why not? I mean, it literally can't hurt to make random things, right? And then we can make some crystal matrix ingots. Let's make 1,000 of them. Oh, they're instantly done. Fantastic. See how fast that crafts? It's amazing. I think that's all we needed for the core, right? Yes, perfect. Oh, and we also have to locate the Leviathan. Interesting. All right. Well, we'll head back to the Wyrmwright immediately because we already crafted this. And then we will figure out what we have to do next. And I have to assume it's killing the Leviathan. And let's be real, won't be very hard for us. So that'll be easy.
Now for your second upgrade. This one's a little more volatile. The Void is a tricky force to control, even for elder dragons. But a mythical species like the Leviathan should contain enough Void energy to power your world engine. Kill one and bring its unborn offspring to your world engine. To forge Resonant Void, you'll need concentrated sources of Void energy, an alloy strong enough not only to contain that power, but to channel it through your world engine as a stable, usable force.
So we have to bring a Leviathan child, or its egg, to our world engine to suck the Void to power ourselves? Curious. We'll head back home again. But for now, we will submit this and go set up the world engine, which is going to be exactly what I thought it was. And we're going to have a giant Draconic Evolution reactor above the world engine, which is freaking cool. This should allow us to have a bunch of power. I could deactivate if I wanted to. So I wonder if this genuinely acts as an energy buffer for our world engine or not. It hadn't gone up any, so we're not entirely sure on that front. But it is cool that we have one now. So I guess we can head back down to our base and I guess locate a Leviathan. So we will claim this. Oh, we get some ocean shards. Oh, okay, so we don't actually have to fly or mine all the way out there. They are 2,600 blocks away. That is a fair reason not to have to mine there. However, I will say, I went ahead and mined in a straight line for a while, just out of curiosity of the biomes we would find. The Aquabound Expanse over here, I'm pretty sure that's where the Leviathan will be. I will make a teleporter for what it's worth, using the unlinked Ender Shard, obviously. And I guess we will make little teleporters in each one of these divots. They could be like teleports, kind of cool. And we will take the Ocean West one, why not? Actually, that's south. We'll take Ocean South. Throw those in there for now. I will set one to, I guess, our home area here. And then we can just throw it inside the Ocean West one to bring us back. Okay, we are falling into the void. Surely we'll load. Perfect. And yeah, we'll just throw this back in here. And this will allow us quick and easy transport between the two of them if we need be. But yeah, here we are in the Aquabound Expanse. However, it does want us to get the Abyssal Sacrifice first, which means we need to summon Paralysis. However, it does need us to make the Paralysis portal ourselves, which is some diamond lettuce, some water essence, and dark matter. Very random, but okay. I said lettuce, not lattice. I just realized. Now, luckily, I do have this set up to make essences if we need. And weirdly enough, that kept its crafting recipe. I feel like this isn't going to make what I think it's going to make. We'll speed it up for what it's worth. Oh no, it made water essence. Interesting. How much do I need? 4. Okay, we'll take 4, I guess. Now, eventually, we're going to have to set this quantum rain up so we can do auto-crafting with the world engine, but we also need to set up a quantum rain so we can have our quantum bridge card set up. So those are two things that are really simple to do, and we just haven't done it yet for some reason. But also, I think I just want an input and output buffer for this guy, because not everything we're going to need on autocraft, but it would be nice to be able to just use this guy without having to come up to it every time. But I think it's fine for now, as sometimes fluids we have to input manually, but I digress. For now, we'll head back to our base. And are there any conditions to this guy? Does not seem like it. I should be able to spawn him in our spawner thing here. Not enough space, really? What if I destroy that? How much space do you need? Hello? Okay, what if we go down here? There we go. That's good enough, I guess. Bunch of old amethyst crabs, all being killed. I'm also getting some lacrimas. Interesting. I didn't even see what I just killed there. Not worth my time, it seems. But I need an athame, as well as crystallized coral, and heart of the sea. Wow, we need a lot of things. This takes a while to spawn. I assume this will be Coralysis or Coral Sus. Cool. Okay, there's our coral chunk that we needed. Also got some ancient knowledge fragments. Cool. Don't think we're going to do too much iron and spells, but it is cool that we have it. I wonder if the altar is inside the area, because then we can make less amethyst crab meat. But yeah, I just need an athame, which I believe we've killed a deep lane priest or two in the Create Vault, right? We should have some, assuming I didn't throw it out. Cool, we don't have one. You craft these. You cannot. Okay, so we have to find ourselves some deep lane priests. which means I'm going to need access to my quantum rain while I'm out there. Now, I don't know if I really want this here, but I guess we could have 4 quantum rains that just stick on the side of this like this. I mean, it's not the prettiest, but also will give us 4 quantum rains that we don't have to like link up to anything. Cool. So what we'll do is just make some tiny TNT really fast, grab some ender dust, do singularities, and make some explosions. That's 1. That's 2. Cool. We're going to put our quantum bridge card in our inventory, which will allow us to put a quantum entangled singularity that matches with it in. We'll make this an extended pattern provider in a second, but for now I'll just place one down for convenience sake. And then we can just hook it up with some dense cables. And what's nice about this is eventually what we'll do is set up the patterns for like things we need to craft often through the world engine, but for now we'll just leave it as is. But what's nice about advanced pattern providers is we can set exact directions. So if a fluid needs to go in this side, a fluid needs to go in this side, we can set that with the advanced ones, right? So like we did with the fluid before, if we want to set this as an input and set this side as an input, right? We can set that with advanced patterns, thanks to using our advanced pattern encoder, which I don't have a keybind for, but yeah. We use these guys in Skies 2 for mechanism, and we will be using it for the world engine as well. But all that to say, we need to go find ourselves a Deepling Priest, and I assume one will be over here. Okay, we teleported back somehow. There we go. Now, I don't know what I'm doing, but apparently we had Thames from killing the Coriolis boss thing, so that's cool. Now, the only thing I'm missing is a Heart of the Sea, which we have to buy from the Echo of Enchanter. So we'll head back to the spawn, then we can actually craft one of these. My game's lagging a bit. So we'll head over to the Enchanter, buy ourselves a Heart of the Sea. You know what? We'll buy a few of them. Actually, can these be duplicated? Oh, they can. We did not need to buy any. Fun fact. Or we didn't need to buy a few. We only needed the one. But we'll make sure to duplicate that when it comes time. But what we want is an Abyssal Sacrifice. 1, please. But for now, we will head down to the Void. Or to the water, I guess. And I think I have water breathing by default. Oh, right. We have evasion. So anything that hits us will teleport us underneath the vault. Could be worse. What is that? Making a funny noise. What are you? A Shadow Beast. FTB Ocean Mobs. Cool. I've never seen that before. Oh, there's some cool things in here. What are you? A Rift Minotaur. Okay. Well, good sirs, I'm sorry you will have to die at my hand. But that is a cool boss. Those are custom too. That's sick. Alright, so I don't know where the Leviathan is. None of his loot seems to have generated. Except these guys. Nothing interesting. I might want to remove evasion from my boots. Just so we don't get teleported all around 24/7. Might be useful. Now, I don't exactly know where I'm supposed to go. I have found the Ice Spider Den, which is completely unintentional, but I assume that's what this is. This is a Twilight Forest Vault. And then this is the Aquabound Expanse with snow. This is also a Cataclysm dungeon, assumedly, or it's the Ice Queen, one of the two. I think this might be the Cataclysm, like, structure, but I don't know where the Leviathan is supposed to spawn in this guy. I wonder if I'm given any help. Now, I don't know where... Within the ocean rain, there's a creature that has been touched by the void. Good luck. Yeah, I will need an abyssal sacrifice to find the altar. I don't know where the altar is. Did these guys drop anything cool, by the way? It doesn't seem like it. Really cool models. But yeah, I don't know where the actual pillar is. I'm just going to break around until we find it. I know this isn't the intended way to go about this dungeon, but to be honest, I am very confused, as we weren't given much direction to find the actual abyssal sacrifice. Unless for some reason it's out here. But do you know what's weird is I'm pretty sure this is Maladictus's like spawn room, but we fought Maladictus somewhere else. So I'm a little confused on that aspect. I'm gonna head over to this question mark. I'm pretty sure I've already been to this room, but it looks a bit like unique, at least. Okay, it was a unique room, but it's not actually what we're looking for. Once again, all these chests are pretty much empty, or they have really bad loot inside of them. But I will say the actual beasts inside these things are actually really cool, so I will give them credit there. But yeah, it is very confusing as to where the actual Leviathan spawner is, or supposed to be. I'm gonna head over here, but I'm almost like 95% positive this is not what we're looking for. Yeah, this is not at all what we're looking for, by the way. This is Maladictus's castle, which is, once again, very confusing as to why it's here if Maladictus isn't fought here. I will check it out while I'm here, though, because it is such a cool structure. But yeah, Maladictus should be at the very bottom of this thing, if I remember correctly. I've done this once previously. Yes, he should be down here. I should be able to get a strange key from these guys. Right-click the strange key on the door of seal. Get some cool loot while we're here. And yeah, if we enter here, Maladictus is also here. I mean, that's cool, I guess. You don't need to go to the vault to kill him. I will grab myself a data model just of him for now, I mean, there's no reason not to, right? Throw to my deep learner, and if we kill Maladictus in his castle, we now have infinite Euphonium if we wanted to. But yeah, it is weird because he does spawn here, like I said, but there's no need to fight him here as he spawns in the vaults. Kind of cool though. I'm going to try the other ones. I don't know if we're just doing something incorrectly. I guess I'll try like Ocean North instead. Don't know if that'll change anything. Okay, so this one put us not inside of a dungeon. So I have to assume that that was a goose chase that we were never going to get out of because it's not in there. I'm going to take my explorer's compass out and I'm looking for a sunken city, but I don't see one. Now, what I should be looking for is a sunken city. However, I don't see one in the explorer's compass. I do see these two, however, and this is what I'm pretty sure I'm after. So this is actually the tunnel we had previously made, like I said, with all the loot still on the ground, which is really bad. Don't get me wrong here. But yeah, here's another one of these structures. However, this looks more promising, and I can't tell you exactly why, but I'm pretty sure up here will be what we're looking for, based off the roof of it. Now, I thought the Abyssal Sludge. What's that? Wait, spawn for me? Is it going to spawn an Abyssal Sludge? Oh, we've already seen those, never mind. Alright, well, I thought this would be more promising. Unfortunately, it's turned out the exact same as previous. But maybe this ladder brings me somewhere? No. Okay, we located the water orb. That should be where we want to be. So that is this structure here. And somewhere in here is the water orb, I assume? There we go. Okay, so this is what we want. Beautiful structure. And the Leviathan summoner should be at the very bottom here. There it is. Okay, now we didn't bring water breathing with us, nor removal of darkness. Okay, interesting. There's nothing in the loot chests. Oh, some prismarine shards, nice. And then some replica blocks. But yeah, we'll take the Abyssal Sacrifice, spawn the Leviathan. I love the Leviathan fight. I think all the fights from Cataclysm were fantastic. Unfortunately, it's, you're cool and all, but we'll take your Abyssal Egg, and we will be on our way. You know what'd be funny? Is if water flew through the portal that you made and like you had water in your base because of it. That actually wouldn't be funny, that'd be awful. But yeah, we have the Abyssal Egg. This guy is used to turn into Resident Void, and we don't need anything else actually. Like that's the only upgrade we needed. Cool. But yeah, this will require empowered void crystals, sky osmium, and promethium. So this was something we will look at in the next episode. None of it's too hard to make, to be honest. I do want this to be our last upgrade, so we will do the Twilight Lich and the last of these upgrades in the next episode. I am going to go ahead and wrap things up there. I do hope you guys enjoyed whatever this episode was, between our endless exploration of the ancient vault that needed no exploration, just needed us to go kill Maladictus, the killing of the Leviathan, and also our fluid cow setup, and whatever the world engine upgrades we got. Bit of a messy one to say the least. I'm not even sure how I'm going to title this, but like I said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like on the video. If you don't want to miss future uploads, hit that subscribe button. And if you learned anything or want to tell me anything about how weirdly I set things up or whatever I'm doing, leave in the comments below. I do appreciate and read them all. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!